Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat. We're going to make more book page things because I was playing around this morning and I came up with this one. Not saying it's never been done before, I just haven't seen anybody do it. But, I mean, come on. How many ways can you fold a book page? A billion. Anyways. And then this is one from my Colossal Tome of Concepts. So this is one that I have done before, but this one I have not. So we have one new, one old, and we will see where we get. So how are you guys all doing? I hope you are fantastic. I want to say hugs and blessings to Diane, Sherry, and Peppermint Paper. Thank you guys for joining me and for your kind comments. It is always very, very much appreciated. So this first pocket, I am going to give you measurements that you will need for this one. That does not mean you can only make it in these sizes. I just want to make it easy because it does have a lot of pockets, but it's not anything, I mean, I'm sure you can see, it's nothing too difficult or anything, just I am going to give you measurements, okay? So you're going to need one piece of book page that is 7 3/4 by 4 3/4. So let's cut that one first. 7 3/4 by 4 3/4. And I'm going to cut off my ends because I like it that way. So 7 3/4. I'm going to try to get it right because I did mess it up a few times when I made it on my own. By 4 3/4. Which probably shocks no one. 7 3/4 by 4 3/4. Okay, so we need one of those. I'm just making sure, Okay, 7 3/4 by 4 3/4. Okay, next thing we need is one piece that is 4 3/4. I'll put it up here so you can see it. 4 3/4 by 3 1/8. 4 3/4 by 3 1/8. So I'm using one of my half pages. You can use all one big page. You can use your glue pages, whatever you want to use. So we're gonna go, this one is 3 1/8. I did it backwards, but that's okay. 3 1/8 by 4 3/4. And some of the, sometimes, you know, your pages aren't 100% square if you're folding them in half. This one it's good. They're lined up, but sometimes they're a little bit off. Okay. So 4 3/4 by 3 1/8, and then we need another one that is 4 3/4. I don't know why I put them on upside down, but I did. 4 3/4 by 2 5/8. 4 3/4. By 2 5/8. Oops. Okay. And then we need this one over here that is 4 3/4 by 2 3/4. 4 3/4 by 2 3/4. 4 3/4. I know I keep saying it over. It's not for you guys. It's for me. Actually, I'm going to trim this one straight because it's a little wonky on the fold. Okay, so 4 3/4. Because my memory is down to nothing. By 2 3/4. Okay, so that's the one that goes on the other side. So I'm going to kind of put it right over here. And then we have these side slant pockets here. And I'm sure there's some fancy way you could fold all these like out of one piece of paper. I'm sure there is, but I didn't do that whole thing. I am just doing them part piecemeal because I have a billion of these glue pages. So yeah, that's why I'm doing it that way. But if you want to attempt it, go for it. Because I know I'll get somebody that's like, you could have just folded it all out of one. I was like, yeah, if I could figure that out, I probably could have. Okay, so 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. 4 3/4. I'm going to even this up. Turn it around. 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. And we need 2 of those. So another one. And I'm going to even this one up because it's worse than the other one. That's still not great. We're going to even it and do that this way. Okay, 4 3/4 by 2 1/2. Right? Or no, 3 1/2. Did I do the other one 2 1/2? I bet I did. No, it looks right. I think I tried to push up in that corner too much. Yeah, those are right. Okay, so that's all of our pieces. That's 5 pieces you should have now. So one that's 7 3/4 by 4 3/4. And then I went inside. You have a 4 3/4 by 2 5/8. 4 3/4 by 3 1/8. 4 3/4 by 2 3/4. And then our outside pockets, you need 2 of these at 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. And then you'll notice over here there's a 1 3/4. This was just kind of an easy way to figure out where you want to start your pocket slope, but you can do it anywhere. It's just I was trying to think of a way that would maybe, you know, make it a little bit easier. So if I go to 1 3/4, that's right about here. I'm just going to cut from this corner down to that line on my cutter. But if you want to, you know, cut it with your scissors or however you prefer to cut these type of corner pocket things. And it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to take the next one and hold it on top of this one and cut it so that they're the same. But, I mean, it's not any big deal. But you can do it however you want to do it. Whatever works for you. This just seemed to work for me, so. Sort of like our little tag deals, you know, when we cut a tag. Okay, so then to put it together, that's the easy part. I'm sure you can already deduce how we do that, but we're going to take this first one that is, and I'm going to keep saying these just to help people that need it. 7 3/4 by 4 3/4. 7 3/4 by 4 3/4 is the main body. And I have totally made this crooked, and I don't know how. I always do that. But look at that. It's totally off. I think I do this thing wrong. I don't really know how exactly, but I do. User error. Okay, so then I'll probably have to trim some of this stuff too, but that's fine. Okay, so we're going to do this, the first inside pocket, and what that is the bigger piece, obviously goes on the bottom. Yeah, I don't see, I did it again. Is this one? No, that one's a different size. Oh my gosh. What did I do? Did you guys see me? What did I do? So these are supposed to both be 4 3/4. 4 3/4 then. What is 4 3/4? Right there. I definitely boo-booed. I think I always move it ahead too far. Okay, and then the easiest way to probably do this, did I do this one too long? No, that one's right, is to get all 3 of your, you know, those pockets that we just made. Stack them on top of each other. The middle size one goes on the right side and the other 2 go on the left side, just, you know, because if you stack them and then you're like, oh great, what order did they go in? And do your hole punch or your thumb notch. Then they'll all be in the same spot so that it looks, you know, even when you If you're doing multiple pockets in the same piece, that's kind of what you want to do. So the one that's in the middle is going over on this side. These two are going on this side. Then what we're going to do too is round corners before we start gluing. And I'm using the medium size, the R7 mm. And I want to do my corners of this. So all 4 corners on this. Let's see, I shoved that in there too far. So this one's going to be off from another one. You really got to be careful with these. I'm not going to be able to get it again. Okay, so we have all 4 corners, and then we're going to round all 4 corners of these as well. So I'm going to go ahead and hold them together and round them, but you can do one at a time if you want. Some of these trimmers like it when you do multiples, other ones don't. But and then we're going to have to scooch them back down at the bottom so they're all even with each other, obviously. Come over here. And if you don't want to do the corner rounding, don't. I mean, that's fine with me. I just like the way it looks. I mean, why would I? Doesn't matter if it's fine with me or not fine with me. It's whatever works for you. I mean, you could change it up however, like if you think of a different way to change them up, that's great. These are all just ideas. Okay, so we're going to glue this part. We'll ink it, glue it, and if you don't ink, don't worry about it. Just helps all the different pockets show up, I feel like. And if you wanted to, you could decorate first. It's fairly thick because it's made out of like doubled over book page. And then if you have these kind of things, because your glue page didn't stick all the way, just fix them. It's not a big deal. They don't always stick everywhere because you're not, when you're doing glue pages, you're usually not like gluing every edge, right? You're just folding them when they get too sticky and moving on. There's another spot that needs a little, and sometimes it's just the glue dries out in them too. Because it's got ink on it and everything else. Okay, ink this a little. And you can decide which direction you want your script. If it's something you're going to see, if you're just going to cover it, it makes no difference. And I apologize if there's any bad words on here. That's just the way some books are. These are dollar store book pages, so they're they can sometimes have some bad ones. So now you're just going to glue 3 sides. These are obviously just normal pockets or whatever, you know. So glue 3 sides. Line them up as best you can. Okay. And then this one, we have one bigger and one smaller. So the bigger one, we're just going to back, you know, push all the way to the edge. And the other one will too, but it's shorter, so. Those don't seem like they're the same size either. I don't know. If you cut better than I do, you'll probably get a better result than I got. Okay. So this was 3 sides again. I mean, this really can't get any simpler. Really, once you get all your 5 parts, it just goes right together. Okay, and I did not cut something the right size again. Don't know why I'm struggling with that so much. This is a glue page that didn't stick all the way. So you can just fix those when they do that. I don't know what happened with my measuring, but I did this on the last one too. I think it's just, I stink at that. Cut one too much and the other not enough, right? And then you have that problem. But this just goes to show I make plenty of mistakes, let me tell you. And you can usually fix them all, so it's no big deal. This is why I like doing the junk journal. Because even if you mess it up, you can usually use it for something else. So, it's fine. Alright, so there's that main part of the book. And then we're going to take these. Why are these short? Oh well, they're going on short. I don't care. We'll have to snip that up there. But if you measure everything correctly, which apparently I am not able to, it should come, you know, to the edge. If you are like me and mess it up, then it won't go to the edge, but it really doesn't make any difference. So. Okay. It is not the end of the world. I think when I do 3/4 too, I tend to go to the next like 5 3/4 instead of 4 3/4. Or 3 3/4 instead of 4 3/4. I don't know why. Oh well. Alright, so then you just glue your pocket on. And it's really not going to make any difference if it doesn't go to the edge. At the corner, you're probably going to want to snip off because that's a little goofy like that. Okay, so another variation just by accident. But if I had done it right, I would have rounded this front corner too, because it would have come out over this rounded corner. So you're just going to round corners wherever, you know, if you've already rounded a corner and it's getting glued onto a rounded corner, you're going to want to round the corner. I'm going to blame it on getting up at 5:30 this morning. I took my awesome sister to the airport to go see her grandbaby, which is so exciting for her, and I'm so excited for her. I wish I could have gone with her, but we'll go. I know my kids want to meet him too, so we got to figure out a time, maybe spring break or something. Go see. The dang plane tickets are the expensive part because she lives in Arizona, so it is a little spendy. But maybe we can go see the baby. And he's doing good, real good. And so is Mom. She's feeling much better now that he's out and good. Of course, she's totally paranoid, as you often are when you have a new baby. If they sleep too long or anything and you wake up in a panic, oh my gosh, do I remember that feeling. You should just get yourself all freaked out about everything. Okay, so pocket here, a pocket here, and here, the fold. You know what, I'm going to ink it just so that you can see kind of where the center is. So you could also stitch some pages in here if you just wanted to turn it into like a Happy Meal. and one back here. So how I would use this in a journal, again, would be something like copy paper here. Put it on here and use a paper clip because you've got these pockets. If you decide I want to glue it down, then just don't put that pocket on the back. Then you can glue it, you know, like over here or over here, or you could go in the middle and do two sides and have like a belly band back there, and then it would open. But you might want to tie like a string around it before you glue it down, so that so it's not doing this, you know. Whereas if you hook it to the side of your page, go like so. Voila. So just actually follow the sizes and you'll have much more luck than I do. But you saw it can be fixed, so yeah, it's fine. All right, so this one, I don't know the measurements exactly of how, I'm just gonna fold it into thirds is all this is. So you've got your book page on the side, and this was maybe a little shorter. I'm gonna even it up anyway. I'm probably gonna cut right along where the words are. But it's folded over, and there's a pocket here. So you can see, you just fold that side in and then the other side over and fold the corner down. So that's a super simple one. Let's even this up. And I'm just using one book page, one thickness, because of the way it's in thirds, it gets a little bulky. But you can strengthen the edges if you want to. And I'm not going to give you sizes on this one simply because it's going to depend on the size of the book page, honestly. I mean, this one's going to be a little fatter than that one because this is a wider book page. So I kind of want thirds if I can manage it. If I have to, I'd rather trim a little off the side over there. So I'm just going to kind of use my text here and fold it. So just fold whatever paper you use. If you want to use copy paper, digital, scrapbook paper, whatever paper is you use, fold it into thirds. And I didn't quite get all the way over there, but that's okay. I will go ahead and measure this one just so you kind of have some idea maybe of what size we're talking about. So this is 9 1/4 almost, but I mean that'll at least give you an idea. And fold it into thirds, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and strengthen that edge because I'm going to put a thumb notch. I didn't on my prototype because it doesn't matter. There's no point in it, but I am going to on this one because I'll probably use this one. And the last thing you want is to stick a tag in and tear down the front of the whole pocket. So it's worth it to put those little bitty strips of paper there. Takes a minute, but it's nothing. I mean, obviously, if you're going to decorate it all up, you're probably going to cover it anyway, so you may not even need that. But we'll do it. And then I'm going to glue across this side. I got a little out, but we'll get this going. Oh, I needed to do another book page day. If you're wondering why on earth I'm doing another book page day, it's because I have kind of lost my mojo, which happens because I have just gone through a huge creative spurt and was just on a tear, and I've kind of hit a wall. So it might be a few days of me doing this kind of stuff. I just can't get myself to start another journal right now. So, and then also I lost all my freebies. I accidentally deleted them. I was trying to be a good mom and clean up my Google Drive, or, you know, clean up my laptop, because my son's always like, Mom, you need to clean this. You know, you need to get all the stuff you don't need off of it. And I thought I was doing good by getting rid of a bunch of recents. I didn't realize those were the ones that were on my Google Drive. So you can't get really any of the freebies from my videos right now. I am trying really hard, so if any of you have those freebies out there and are willing to email them to me, please contact me at my Etsy. And if you do that, I will be happy to supply you with a digital of your choice at no charge, because I don't know what else to do. And I apologize, but if you, you know, for those people that were trying to get them and they can't get them, but if I can't, if nobody has them, then I'm not going to be able to do anything about it because they're gone as far as I can tell, unless somehow I can find them and recover them. But I've been trying to figure that out and I can't. There were a bunch of my digitals too, but luckily I do have access to those on Etsy, so I can download them from Etsy. But the freebies, no, because they're just, you know, they're just on the Google Drive. So if anybody has a copy, you know, the file that you could email to me, please let me know, because I know there's a lot of people that would like to have those, and there's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. Okay, so that one we did a thumb notch, folded it over, glued it on these two sides. You only have to glue the two sides. Then this other half that we folded, we're going to bring that corner, so that's going to strengthen that pocket too. And you don't want to bring it like all the way into the fold, because otherwise, you know, you're going to have that problem of it being in the way. And then we're going to glue this down too, so that it doesn't get caught up on the tag and isn't just flopping around in there. So yeah, that was one of my brilliant moments. I do things like that because I don't always get how the computer stuff totally works. Like there's certain things I know how to do, and I do those things all the time, so I know. And then there's other things that I don't totally get how it works, which obviously the Google Drive is one. My son was like, Mom. I'm like, I thought I was helping by cleaning it up, because I probably use up the most memory in the whole family, you know, because I've got all the images and all the things all the time. And so I try my hardest to keep everything cleaned up, but that was not brilliant on my part, and I do apologize to you all, because here I'm, oh, get your freebie down below, blah, 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 and then people can't get it, so I'm so sorry. I'm trying to get them back, though, so hopefully that'll happen. If not, they're gone to the world. And I'll continue to make digitals and not erase them. So, yeah, now that I know that, that was just one of my genius moves. Alright, so this one has this pocket here and this pocket back here. So yeah, super fun. I do like all these. And see, it doesn't matter what size book page you use, because both of those pockets are very useful. You can use either one. And a lot of people were saying, oh, I'm doing a skinny journal right now. Well, this is better for skinny journals, because you could even use like one of these big ones. We got time, so we can make another one. If you don't want to watch anymore, I understand, because I'm going to do another one of the same thing I just did. But just to show you these bigger pages, and these ones are real big, because this one's like almost, yeah, it is 10.5 by 8 1/8 because I cleaned it up over there, so it's very big. So this one, if you're going to do a ledger style, you might want to have it this way. These are obviously going to be really tall skinny tags, but that's fine. And you're probably going to have to shorten it a tiny bit, but that's okay, because I don't think 10's a little too tall, I think, even for the tall skinny journals. And then we're going to bring this one over roughly thirds, and I think I went on a little further, but did I fold that edge? Yes. So I'm going to trim that. These are going to be very tall, skinny tags, obviously. So just find a very large book page of some kind, fold it into thirds. And I'm going the opposite with this one, just because I want to. This is going to be my thumb notch one, so I'm going to put some paper here. And I'll go ahead and use a piece of the same type, but you can use anything. Doesn't matter, because on the inside you could use a piece of coffee dye, piece of copy paper, whatever. Yeah, so, you know, genius move on my part. I do stuff like that, and then after I realize, I'm like, oh yeah, that was dumb. I really need to start putting all that stuff on. I have a terabyte drive that's separate from my computer. However, this is another great story. I had, yeah, that doesn't like that, and I did it yesterday. You'd think I'd learn. I had all kinds of digitals on it, and I accidentally set it on top of my iPad, and my iPad has a magnetic flap that comes over to close it. And that deleted the whole drive. So I've done it before, even outside of the, on my terabyte drive. Got rid of a whole bunch of images and things that I was trying to keep to use for digitals. Yeah, so if it's not one thing, it's another thing I do. So that isn't helping my desire to create or do anything. Well, I spent a lot of the morning just trying to figure all that out. Not a lot of time to plan videos, but I like doing these book pages, and you guys seem to like them, so whenever I hit a wall, I'll do these. Okay, so that's that exact same pocket, but better for a long journal. You could even, because this one I think is even a little too long, fold this up and turn this into a pocket. So let's do that before we close that entirely. I mean, honestly, just like get book pages out and play with them. I'm telling you. The ideas just come and come and come, because I'm just going to cut off one of these flaps. I don't need two of them. I'll keep the one that's closest to the front piece, because you can just sit and fold book page, and I'm cutting above the flap, or the fold, if you're wondering. I'm just going to cut straight down because I'm making a pocket. But, yeah, you can just come up with another. That one's already glued because of, is this open? No, okay, because we glued the pocket already. So we want to glue this over. So we're going to glue up this side. And across the bottom. And you can just fold away and come up with all kinds of new pockets. Where did I put up? And I'm going to do another thumb notch, because this is yet another pocket for us. So if you're doing a ledger, this one will work for you. Just find yourself some bigger pages. Get these set. And again, you could use a piece of digital copy paper that's coffee dyed, whatever, and that would work fine, because those are 11 inches long, so that would be even taller than this one. And decorate it up. have a little pocket here, which isn't in the way of the other one. A pocket there on the front, and a pocket at the back. And if you put it down the middle of the page, you could have a belly band with the long skinny too. Even in a standard size journal, as long as you didn't make it too tall for your journal. But I think this one would work as a belly band. All right, so we got 3 different pockets, even though this one is very similar to the other one. That's our prototype. And then we have one that we attached to our book page. And I hope you could see better. I tried not to shine the light directly onto it, so I'm hoping, it is hard with book page because it is a lighter color, but hopefully you can see it okay. That's the front. The inside has all those pockets. Back. This one has a pocket here and a pocket up here. And then this one has a pocket down here, a pocket here, and a pocket here. Nice and tall for a ledger. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and we'll do it again, I'm sure. I don't know if I'll do it again this week or not, but if I can find some motivation, I'll try to think of something to do. I'm just not ready to start a journal right now, so maybe next week I'll get on my next journal. It's just sometimes, I don't know what happens, but everything in you is like, no, don't want to. I'm kind of debating some things. I can't remember if it was Sandy that said, because it was when I was doing the Hinge journal, she was like, I wonder what that would be like for a big, you know, like a standard size journal. So I'm kind of contemplating that I might try to do like a bigger paged Hinge journal. I don't know. I'm just not sure how to do it. So anyways, that's kind of what I'm tossing around. So I think that's why I've hit a roadblock. I just am not sure what I want to do. So anyways, I will chat with you guys again soon. Love you. Thanks for joining me, and we'll chat later. Bye.